What's up? It's Worldwide Nate coming to you live from my living room with my African Ancestry maternal test. African Ancestry is unique because they will identify which tribe you come from. And that's very important because African tribes, African people have been nomadic in some places, and then, the colonizers came in and created these countries. So it's important to identify where you come from as a country in a whole, but get a little bit deeper and find out your exact tribe. So let me open this up. I'm excited. Look at this packaging, real nice. Remember who you are. So inside the test, we got the little booklet right here. Some nice information about the African diaspora. We have some swabs right here, which I assume is to swab the inside of my mouth to get that DNA so they can match it with my ancestors. This is the envelope, the African Ancestry envelope, and a first-class mailer from USPS to ship it back to the laboratory. Grab the 3 packages of swabs, open your package, and remove the swab. Roll the swab firmly inside of each of your cheeks, approximately 20 times per cheek. Allow the swab to dry completely on a clean tissue paper or paper towel. Repeat the process until you use all 3 swabs. Put your 3 dry swabs in the smaller envelope. Then place the return envelope and seal it, and remove the adhesive backing. Self-addressed envelope. Stuff it inside here. It's sealed. Now I'm off to the post office, drop this in the mail. Gonna find out my tribe. Yeah. African Ancestry. Let's go.
So, where do you think your roots are?
Well, I have previously took a test and it said that I was 39% Nigerian and then 13% Ghanaian, and then it said Cameroon, and then it changed. So I'm like, that's why I was like, you know what? Let me do African Ancestry so I can know exactly the specifics, because I was just getting a range of, like a little pie.
West Africa. They told you were West African.
Yeah.
Our test is different in that we looked at one branch of your family tree.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of looking at all thousands of DNA from thousands of people that make you up, we looked at DNA that you inherited from your mother. Do you have brothers and sisters?
Older sister, but she had passed away.
Okay, so you and your sister inherited DNA from your mother, the same DNA, and she and her brothers and sisters got that exact same portion of DNA from your grandmother, and she got it from her mother, and she got it from her mother. And for generations, that maternally inherited DNA does not change. So when you took our test, we didn't unlock the code of all of your DNA. We only unlock the code of the DNA that you inherited from your mother that does not change over generations. And then we compared it to over 30,000 Africans across the continent. So more than 10 times more Africans, to look for people who have that same code as you.
Okay.
And when we find people who have the same code, then you have to share the ancestry because it didn't change.
Right.
It just went, one branch of your maternal line ended up in, where do you live? Where do you live? Where did you grow up? Let's say that, because you live all over the world.
Yeah, I grew up in Chicago, but my grandmother's from Laurel, Mississippi.
Okay, so it ended up in Mississippi.
Yeah.
But then some more of those descendants stayed on the continent. And so what you've done is unlock the code that allows you to reconnect with that group of people on the continent today. And so we did the comparison, we did the analysis, and we found people living in Cameroon today who have your same maternal ancestry.
Wow.
And we don't just stop at Cameroon because, you know, those borders are artificially and politically drawn. And so, you know, what was Cameroon at one point looked very different than what is Cameroon today. But we were able to identify you sharing maternal genetic ancestry with the Bamileke people in Cameroon.
The Bamileke people.
And so, exactly. I don't know if you've met any Bamileke yet on your travels.
I don't know if I have, but I have some crew members that I'm gonna ask them. They would know.
So the Bamileke is one of the groups in Cameroon whose ancestry we find often. And what I've been told by Cameroonians is that the Bamileke run the economy of the country. So they're the business people of the culture. And again, this is what I'm told, is that they're the ones who make things happen economically. You probably have seen evidence of Bamileke culture in fabric. So they're known for this very beautiful indigo blue fabric that has very distinct patterns, and the patterns have different meanings. Sometimes the patterns are animals, sometimes the patterns may be symbolic of other, you know, symbolic of a war horn or whatever it is. So there's a lot of symbolism in the fabric. You see it in the jewelry that the men and the women wear. Another thing that is familiar to people are these, they're called juju hats. That's not what they're called in Cameroon, but you may know them as juju hats. These hats that have these huge, huge hats with feathers. It's like a circle, the feathers make a circle at the top of the hat. And these hats are worn during masquerade. So the Bamileke are also known for their pageantry in their celebration of different life events. And so you'll see these, again, those feathered hats. You'll see these beautifully intricate beaded masks that will be in the form of big animals. So like there'll be an elephant mask, or there'll be a water buffalo mask, these very, very big mammals that represent different elements of the culture. So, you know, I'm excited for what you're about to explore, especially since you're in the country. I almost didn't believe it when they told me Cameroon. I was like, wait a minute, are you sure? Do you know he's in Cameroon right now?
That is awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited for what you'll learn as you explore that culture. You already know, having been in Cameroon, that the food is delicious, you know, that it's Africa in miniature. There's not probably much I can tell you about Cameroon that you don't already know, but it is really an honor to welcome you into the African Ancestry family.
Yeah, I'm excited.
As a member of the Bamileke people. I've had the pleasure of spending a lot of time in Cameroon with Camericans like yourself. And we've actually done reveals there, but I've never actually revealed someone whose ancestry was Cameroonian in Cameroon. So thank you for being my first in that.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. That's I'm glad to have this experience and to be able to share it with you, and then we can, you know, share with others so more people can, you know, take their African ancestry test and figure out and trace their roots. So this is awesome.